The Indian pit and heap methods use cow dung, crop waste, and kitchen scraps to create rich humus. Healthy soil is alive, and honestly, the secret to keeping it thriving is simple: give back what you take. Across India for centuries, farmers have relied on traditional composting not just as a way to recycle waste, but as the very foundation of fertile fields. At a time when chemical fertilizers dominate agriculture, revisiting these age-old methods can be a real game-changer. Whether you are tending a small garden or managing a farm, mastering traditional pit and heap composting is your key to producing nutrient-rich humus that transforms tired soil into a powerhouse of growth. Every handful of good soil is a living ecosystem made up of bacteria, fungi, and countless tiny organisms that work silently to nourish plants. Composting fuels this living network by breaking down organic matter, cow dung, crop residues, and kitchen scraps, into humus. Humus is the dark, crumbly material that not only improves soil fertility, but also enhances water retention, prevents erosion, and balances nutrients naturally. Modern fertilizers may promise quick results, but they often strip soils of long-term fertility. Traditional composting, on the other hand, works with nature instead of against it. That is why these methods, practiced for generations in Indian farming, remain timeless. For compost to work effectively, the right blend of ingredients is essential. Cow dung plays a starring role because it is rich in nitrogen and teeming with beneficial microbes. These microbes act as activators, kickstarting the decomposition process and ensuring that organic matter breaks down efficiently. Crop residues, such as dry stalks, husks, or straw, provide the necessary carbon, which balances the nitrogen in cow dung. This carbon-nitrogen harmony is what produces high-quality compost. If nitrogen is too high, the pile may smell unpleasant. If carbon is too high, decomposition slows down. Together, they create the perfect environment for humus to form. Kitchen waste adds another dimension by supplying diverse nutrients. Vegetable peels, fruit scraps, and leftover grains all enrich the compost with trace elements. Avoid meat, dairy, or oily food scraps, as they disrupt decomposition and attract pests. Pit composting is ideal for those who have limited space or wish to keep their compost hidden and protected. To begin, select a shaded, well-drained spot and dig a pit about 3 feet deep, 4 feet wide, and as long as your available space allows. Start with a base layer of coarse material like dry leaves or chopped crop residue, which helps drainage and aeration. Next, add a layer of fresh cow dung mixed into a slurry. For every 10 kilograms of cow dung, dilute it with about 10 liters of water until it reaches the consistency of a thin paste. This ensures even distribution of microbes throughout the pile. On top of this, add kitchen waste or more crop residue, and then repeat the layering until the pit is full. Always end with a final covering of soil, about 2 to 3 inches thick, to control odor and keep pests away. Moisture is critical. The pile should feel as damp as a squeezed sponge. If it is too dry, sprinkle water weekly. If it is too wet, add dry material like straw to restore balance. The pit should remain undisturbed for 6 to 8 weeks. At this stage, you can turn the compost once to introduce oxygen and speed up decomposition. In about 3 to 4 months, you will have dark, crumbly, earthy-smelling humus ready to enrich your soil. So, heap composting is the most common and straightforward method, and honestly, it's just perfect if you have some open space. Unlike pit composting, this one happens above the ground. You'll want to choose a shaded, elevated spot to avoid too much moisture from rainfall. Start building your heap in layers, beginning with a foundation of coarse crop residue for aeration. Then, apply a slurry of cow dung and water. Use the same ratio as in pit composting, that's 10 kilograms of cow dung to 10 liters of water. Make sure to spread it evenly across the layer so the residues get coated with microbes. Next, add a layer of kitchen waste and cover it with more crop residue. Keep repeating these steps until your heap is about 3 to 4 feet high. Once it's built, cover the whole heap with a thin layer of soil or straw to help retain moisture and cut down on odor. Unlike the pit, a heap does need more attention. It should be turned every 2 to 3 weeks to supply oxygen and make sure everything decomposes evenly. Each time you turn it, sprinkle some water if it feels dry. Within 2 to 3 months, the pile will shrink in size, darken in color, and you'll notice that earthy aroma that means your compost is mature. Both methods have their strengths, and well, it's good to know the differences. Pit composting is better if you want a cleaner process with less odor and more protection from pests. But it does take more effort and can get waterlogged during heavy rains. Heap composting, on the other hand, is easier and faster, but it demands regular turning and, of course, enough space. The choice really depends on your situation. If you live in a region with dry conditions, the pit method helps retain moisture. But if you want faster results and don't mind turning the pile, the heap method will deliver compost more quickly. The compost you create through these methods does far more than just feed plants. It builds humus, which, improves soil texture and aeration, making sure roots grow stronger and deeper. It acts like a sponge, holding water for longer, so you don't have to irrigate as often. Most importantly, it restores life to the soil, encouraging beneficial microbes and earthworms to really flourish. By replacing or even just reducing the use of chemical fertilizers, composting also helps cut costs for both farmers and gardeners. It reduces waste, turning what would otherwise end up in garbage dumps into valuable resources. In a world facing soil degradation and climate change, these age-old methods really stand out as practical, eco-friendly solutions. Traditional composting is not without its challenges. Pits can become waterlogged in areas with heavy monsoons, and heaps may attract pests if they're not managed well. The key to overcoming these issues really lies in balance. Always monitor moisture carefully, never allow the pile to dry out completely, and keep a proper covering to prevent pests from getting in. For gardeners looking to enhance the process, adding microbial cultures that you can find in garden stores can help speed up decomposition, and mixing in just a handful of mature compost into new piles also introduces beneficial microbes instantly. The beauty of traditional composting honestly lies in its simplicity. With nothing more than cow dung, crop residues, and kitchen waste, you can create humus that rivals just about any store-bought fertilizer. Whether you prefer the pit method for its tidy approach or the heap method for its speed, both will reward you with soil that's fertile, resilient, and alive. Reviving these methods isn't about looking backward, but about moving forward with wisdom. By adopting them in your garden or farm, you're not only growing healthier crops but also contributing to a more sustainable way of life. If you want healthier plants, richer harvests, and a garden that thrives naturally, there's really no better place to start than traditional composting. These methods are simple, affordable, and have been proven over centuries. Begin with what you already have: cow dung, crop residues, and kitchen scraps, and let nature do the rest. In a few months, you'll be holding black, crumbly humus in your hands, the very essence of fertile soil. If this guide has been helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Soil and Crop Central. Join our growing community of gardeners and farmers dedicated to building healthier soils and sustainable harvests. Let's bring back the timeless art of composting, one heap or pit at a time.